Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make these crystal clusters that I make from real quartz stones, and the other one is made from glass, and I'll explain the story a little bit later on. I'll just go quickly through what you'll need. You'll need one of these UV machines. I can't remember where I bought it. It's to do your nails. It's to do semi-permanent nails. I think I got it off Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. And then this is just some UV resin. It's UV epoxy resin. Also, I bought this from Amazon. It's not particularly fabulous brand. I find it a little bit too thick, so I won't bother linking it down below. So I bought these quartz crystal points, and these are real. So 100% real quartz. And I got them from Just For You Online UK. You can see at the top right all the information, and do use my discount code for 10% off. So these are real crystal quartz points. They sell two different types. I got these ones. They come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors because they're real. So some are a little bit more opaque, a little bit more yellow than others. And I really do prefer these ones. I also have these quartz crystal chips. They're little tiny chips. I guess they're made out of odds and ends of real crystal points. And I'm going to use those as well. Now this is the story of the glass ones. It's quite simple. Before I bought the ones from Just For You Online UK, I got some off Amazon and I realized that they were made out of glass. They were fake, but they turned out to be really great to practice with because they're much cheaper than real quartz. Unfortunately, they're not real. So for the first example, I will be showing you how to use these fake crystals. They're made out of glass, just to practice with, and it's quite important to practice because you'll find this whole process a little fiddly. So I will show you first off using glass, and then I will show you using the real crystal points that I bought from Just For You Online UK. So you need to start off with, as I've written there, just down below, you just need a small piece of sort of acetate film, or you could use cling film. So I've got this little plate. It's just a plastic plate that I'm actually going to pour the UV resin into. But later on, for the second example, you'll see it's actually better to pour it straight out of the bottle to use it and not bother with this step. But anyway, you can kind of see that it's quite thick. It's not like ordinary resin. Maybe it's the brand that I bought. I will be trying another brand at another point when I've used up this bottle. I find it very hard to get out of the bottle and it's quite thick. But in any case, it does the job, and you will definitely need quite a lot of it for this example. So the first step is to put down a blob, and quite a nice amount. You want it to stick together. And this step is quite fiddly, because what you're going to need to do is, before it dries completely, you'll need to hold it with your hand and place it under the UV lamp, just so it doesn't fall over. And I'll do my best to show you and to capture it on film. It wasn't an easy process to film, but you can see I'm laying two down, and you can make your choice as to how you want them to look. As you can see, I have lots of different shapes and sizes there. Some are thinner, some are shorter. I might have been a little bit adventurous at that particular point, but I've done this a few times before, so I'm quite used to doing this. If you're having trouble holding 4 of these points down at the same time whilst it's drying under the lamp, just start off with 1 or 2. And you'll see in the next example, when I use the real quartz crystal points, I do exactly that. So you want to hold it down, put it under the lamp, I would say about 60 seconds, just to cure it so it doesn't move around. You can see I'm pushing it, it's not moving. And then I'll pop it back under there and let it cure for about 30 to 60 seconds. So I fast forwarded this, obviously. I haven't recorded the whole 60 seconds. You'll get extremely bored, and this video is long enough as it is. So you can see there I have started off with 3. and I'm going to just add them. You know, it's your design, it's your creation. You can feel if you want one to be more in the front, at the back, on the sides. You have to go with your own imagination. So there I am selecting the next one to put on, and in this process I will then start doing one by one. It makes it much easier to hold down whilst it's under the lamp and to get a good idea of the shape that you're trying to form. So sorry that keeps unfocusing. That's the problem with trying to film this close up. You can just about see under there, and you can see I'm holding it until I can feel that it's not moving any longer, which means it's partially cured, at which point I will leave it completely under the lamp for another 30 seconds or so. And then you just repeat this whole process, placing stones down where you'd like them to go. And as you can see, that resin is starting to harden up, and I had quite a bit of trouble with that. And as I said, for the next example, I just poured it straight out the bottle, and it turned out fine that way. You can see it's slightly fiddly. They'll fall over. It isn't the easiest thing to do. So if you are a beginner, this is why I advise you using some cheaper stones. And please don't ask me where I got them from, because I don't want to endorse these stones, because they turned out to be fake and I felt quite cheated, to be fair. I also felt rather silly. Just to save a couple of euros, I got them off, I have no idea where they came from, but there was a seller selling them, and they were labeled as real quartz. And so you've got to be really careful when you buy these things, because the picture had nothing to do with the actual product. It was very prettily presented, I'll have to admit, but for what I paid for it, I was expecting real quartz, and they were obviously glass. And I was rather disappointed, so I'd rather not endorse them. But as I said, if you can find them on your own, or if you feel comfortable enough to do this process straight off with real quartz crystals, do so. But since I have, well, I mean, I don't have that many left now, and when I'm finished with them, I will certainly not be buying any more. I prefer the look and the feel of real quartz. They're much heavier, and they have that lovely semi-opaqueness to them, which I love. And besides the fact that real quartz obviously have, if you believe in it, all those lovely healing properties, and you won't get them if you're using glass. I'm putting 2 more on the ends. I'm just experimenting, placing them, seeing if I like the look. If I like the look, I'll do my best to hold it under the lamp. And that one gave me a little bit of jip. It was not playing ball, but eventually I managed it. You can't quite see under the lamp, but I'm holding it with my hand and waiting for it just to semi-cure. It doesn't take long, maybe 10 seconds or so. You can see it's holding up on its own. It's going under the lamp for another 30 seconds, and in the meantime I will prepare the other stone with some UV resin, and then I will place that under the lamp and hold it too. It is quite a therapeutic activity, creating these clusters, and it's a lot of fun. It also means you can change the shape up a bit, and that's the initial shape that I've placed. And you can add to this. You can put some at the back, some at the front. It's up to you. And you can see this is another style that I've done before, and that gold at the bottom, I'll show you later how to put that. They're actually quite nice to put a little bit of gold at the edge before you add it to a painting. And that's another shape. And this is how you get them off the acetate, and this is why it's important to use something that UV won't stick to. And there you go, it just peels off. And there you have your crystal, and you've got little bits of excess UV which you can just clip off or cut off. And then you can place it on whatever medium you want. If anyone's seen any of my previous videos where I've done trays and plates, I've used them for those and they're great. I just put them straight into the wet resin and it cures all together and it will not budge after that. And so those little bits of extra flaky bits on the side, it doesn't matter too much, they'll be hidden. And that piece of acetate film is reusable. I've taken off any other little bits. And I'm going to start on my second one, which is using the real crystal clusters here, crystal points. And these are absolutely gorgeous. Just the feel of them, just the texture of them. And as I said, they come in all different shapes and sizes, and I have at least 2 or 3 bags of these. Every time you buy a bag, you'll get a different style, different selection, widths, heights, etc. They're mostly the same color, but as you can see, some are a little bit tinted. Well, they're natural, so that's quite normal. And then these are the little crystal points, just tiny little chips that I'll be using too. So the process for this cluster will be very much like the previous one. I'm going to start off with 2 points to start off with, and this whole cluster will be very different in shape to the previous one. And to start off with, straight out of the bottle, a nice big blob of the UV resin, and then do my best to hold them with my hand and pop them into the UV machine, and then just keep adding stones all the way around until I get the shape that I like. the initial shape, and now I'm going to add these little crystal chips, these quartz crystal chips, just to the edges, just to give it a bit of interest. And I think they look fabulous. They kind of just like cover the base a little bit, and to do this is quite simple. Add a blob of UV resin where you'd like those chips to go. I think I'm just adding 3 there in between those crystal points. Select your chip and you can just pop it on, and under the UV lamp it goes. Oh, I guess I've added 4 there. And I just like the way it finishes the base of those. And these are much easier to put down because they're quite small. They won't fall around. You don't have to hold them with your hands, so that's quite practical. And I'm going to add some more to the other side. I'm just checking that they're dry. If you feel that they're still moving, just pop it under another 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So I don't want these all the way around, but most of the way around. And as I said, it's up to you, it's your creation. And it also depends on the size of the chips that you get when you order them. And these chips really are lovely. They're all different shapes and sizes. And they're not pointy at all, they're quite smooth, which is important because you don't want to be pricking your fingers with sharp resin edges or quartz edges. On and so forth. I've done just a little crystal, little cluster just to show you as an example, and there it is. It just peels straight off that film, the acetate film. And there you are, there's the final result. I think it looks great. And I'm going to show you the 2 previous ones that I did. Well, I've done 1 previous one, but you can see you can kind of cluster them together, put them, make different shapes and sizes, and you can do the exact same shape with the real quartz, but you can tell the difference. I mean, there is a huge difference, especially in weight. These real quartz points are much heavier than the glass ones, and they just feel more substantial. So what I've done over here is used some alcohol ink, some gold alcohol ink, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you can learn how to make that little quilling bottle of metallic gold alcohol ink. And I think this is great. There's another use for it, especially the quilling bottle. I pour it straight out on just to the ends, the flat end at the bottom of these clusters. And I just let it pour all the way around, and it gives it a lovely effect. You can use them clear, pure if you like, but for some of my elements I do use them with these lovely gold edgings to them. And pour it all the way around and then just let it dry. So there we are, we've come to the end of this video, this example. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I've done my best to explain the process as much as possible. So I wish you all a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care of yourselves, bye!